Hello everyone, welcome back to Beer versus Beer. Today we've got a Belgian quadruple battle for you. We've got a returning winner, Trappistes Rochefort 10. And then we've got the St. Bernardus ABT 12, which stands for Abbot 12. So they have their Pater 6, which means like fathers, and Priest 6, Prior 8. Prior is sort of like middle management in a monastery, and then the abbot is the head of the monastery, so the Prior 8 and the ABT 12. These are both considered Belgian quadruples, which is somewhat, my understanding had always been that a dark strong and a quadruple are the same, but I noticed that I think it's the Rochefort 8 is considered a dark strong, and this is considered a quadruple on Beer Advocate. So Beer Advocate splits them up into separate categories. One of the workers at my local bottle shop seemed to think that maybe a quadruple could be understood as a dark strong with a double-digit ABV. I don't know, could be. Let me know in the comments if you know a better description of potential difference. Also let me know about Grand Cru, because as I said before, I know New Belgium, which is an American brewer, has their Grand Cru listed as a double on their menu, which I always thought a Grand Cru was another name for a quad or a dark strong. So the Rochefort 10 comes in at 11.3%, and the St. Bernardus ABT 12 comes in at 10%. So the Rochefort is a little stronger. I have had both of these each one time before. You saw the Rochefort go up against La Trappe. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. I've had St. Bernardus before, but I never compared it to anything. So I bought they had a great deal. It was like $22 for 6 St. Bernardus beers plus these 2 St. Bernardus Watu glasses. I don't know if you can see that. Now these are only, so this line here is 15 centiliters. So that's like a little less than half of what these bottles are, because they're 330 milliliter bottles. So I might have to do double pours. But anyway, you get the 2 glasses plus the St. Bernardus Extra 4, their wit beer, their triple, the Pater 6, the Prior 8, and the ABT 12, all for $22. Whereas a single one of these is like $7 or more. So I thought that's a deal I can't pass up. So that's why I got it, and then I went ahead and picked up a bottle of this at the same time, the Rochefort 10, in order to well, for the sake of comparing it, like literally, it was like, oh, so I want to compare these two since I had this on before. I wanted to compare the two. Go ahead and make comments in my pouring skills, or lack thereof, if you wish, in the comments. I do tend to do harder pours. I like the added, get the flavors going, the scents going, and I like to see how much the head will go up. As you can see, at least the way I poured it, the ABT 12 has less of a head. The Rochefort 10 has more of a head right now, which is the opposite of what I would expect, because the Rochefort 10 has the higher alcohol volume. But it could just be the way I poured it. Who knows? All right, we'll stop there. I poured more liquid into the ABT 12 one. Probably not the best idea. Yeah, immediate dark fruit, sweet scent that I would expect. Oh wow, okay, so the Rochefort 10, a little bit sharper, a little bit more of what I think of as a triple vibe. Could be the higher alcohol that I'm smelling that makes it a little bit more intense. So some of the undertones are the dark fruit, but I'm getting more of a, almost more of a white wine type of smell. Yeah, and definitely more of like plum, maybe dates, or not. Well, I don't know if I smell dates. I'm smelling plum. I don't know why. That's what's coming to mind anyway. Let's see, what do they... It doesn't really say. All right, what do I want to start with? I'll start with the ABT12 because it's the supposedly weaker of the two as far as alcohol. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, I need to do the retronasal as well. Yeah. Pruny, raisiny. Yeah, typical dark fruit. A little bit of subtle bitterness. Good carbonation, actually. Makes it refreshing, a little bit lighter considering that it's sort of a heavy beer. But the carbonation is not usually something I really look for. It's just not something I can usually consider that in depth, but it's good on this. Like, it helps balance it out. Cleanse my palate a little bit. Let's go for the Rochefort. Okay. Definitely more of a kick. Stronger, sharper, a little more sour / bitter notes. I know you guys know me, I'm a little bit terrible about distinguishing those two. In my head, I know what the difference is, but when I taste some of these things, I kind of feel like it's a mixture. Okay. A lot sharper, whereas the ABT12 is much smoother. But good flavor, strong flavor. Quads are one of my favorite styles, alongside of Doppelbox from Germany. There's a lot of similarities to me between the two styles. This one definitely has more of a lingering afterburn, sort of like that alcohol feel. I didn't get that on the ABT12 as much. Like, I'm getting the warming sensation, which you would think I would get from the St. Bernard, right? Considering the dogs and what they used to do, bringing whiskey to snow-trapped hikers. A little more bitterness on this next go around. All right, so the ABT12, I find it really does benefit from the retronasal breathing. You get more of those flavors out of it. I'm making a mess here. The first round of that seemed better to me. Yeah. It's very good though. Let's see. Rochefort 10. Okay. So now this one I'm getting more of the fruity notes than when I first tasted the St. Bernardus, I got more of that plum, raisin, dark fruit. Now I'm getting that more on the Rochefort, which is interesting. Not sure what's going on. Sometimes I wonder when I do these direct comparisons if they're not interfering with each other. Like if one leaves residue on my palate, even though I'm trying to cleanse my palate, maybe it just doesn't do a complete job. This is tough. I thought from the very beginning that ABT12, after I tasted both initially, it was like ABT12 for sure. And I went back to the St. Bernardus, I'm like, wait a minute, it's not as good as the first round. And this got better with the second round. Yeah, this is weird. It's like it changed on me. I almost feel like that carbonation is carrying with it more of a sour note that's sort of blocking some of the other characteristics. I wonder if these should be warmed up a little bit. I may have had them too cold. I think these tend to be served better at a slightly warmer temperature. Okay, so I'm really torn now because on the first taste, ABT12 was better. Now I'm thinking the Rochefort is tasting better. Man, this is tough. Because I thought the Rochefort was a little bit too stingy, too sharp at the beginning. It is quite sharp. It's quite strong. I don't know if there's any left in these. Yeah, all right. This is tough. Okay. I don't know. I think warming up with my hands a little bit helped. Yeah, that's more like it was at the beginning. Yeah. All right, so this seems darker, a little bit, I don't know if I want to say smoother, because the effervescence of it is pretty intense. But it's not as sharp, which I tend to prefer. This gives me, it's definitely a quad, but there is a little bit of a triple-like note to it. I forgot to do a color comparison. I think I still like the subtlety of the ABT12 better. So if I had to like pick one, I think I would prefer the ABT12 because I think the Rochefort is a little bit sharp to where it would be more fatiguing. And because of that, and because of the first impressions, I'm still going to go with the ABT12. So that's my choice. Let me know if you think differently. I could go either way on this one, I think. Honestly, it depends on the individual sips, it seems. So anyway, that's it. Let me know.